distribution. So yeah, I thought, I was involved in the Melbourne meetup.
Yeah.
So I was
Okay.
one of the, so we organized that one, and yeah, just thought, want to see what's happening in Sydney. Yeah.
Or are you being sent by them to snoop and go, are they doing
Nah, no, definitely not. I think it's all about collaboration at this point.
I was just
I think
kidding.
it's, yeah.
So what is it you do? You do a bunch of different things. Is it you that's typing in right now, Nick Lee, whiskey agency and stuff like that?
Oh, I've typed in, a bunch of stuff, but
wow, you do so many different things.
Just two things, right?
It looks like Malt Direct Australian Fighting Championship. Oh, okay, is that like this two? Oh, it's two things. Okay, it looks like
two things. Two things. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. It looks long because the word "and" looks like another thing too.
Yeah. It looks like I typed a lot, but it's just a very long name. Yeah.
So whiskey agency, is that like a marketing agency?
So it's a bit of a unique idea. So we work with distributors and we drop ship. So if you put an order through our company, we send it directly from the distributor's warehouse. So the price is extremely cheap. So we just
and you're talking about the real whiskey, like as in you sell whiskey.
Oh yeah, like whiskeys, and now we've the reason why we moved into South Australia is because I'll be moving into wines as well. Hey, how's it going? Someone else joined.
Yeah, Alan. Hi, Alan.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Yeah, good. Hey, and you know what? The older we get, the more I hear people like going down to the whiskey path. It's like when you're
awesome.
Yeah.
I can't.
You gotta drink yourself?
No, I try it and I'm like, ugh.
Oh, nice. Oh, it looks kind of empty. We got to top you up.
But the thing is, every alcohol that I've ever tried, I had to try to like it anyway, right? You know, like when we were kids, we tried alcohol for the first time. We're like, ew, how could anyone like this? And then we liked it because it gave us a buzz. Even wine, when I was, I think, in my early 20s or something, and I was like, okay, I want to be classy now. I want to drink wine. And I remember drinking wine. It was like, ugh, gross. And then, you know, I like that. So I can imagine whiskey would be the same thing for me, where I'll try to like it and get used to the taste.
Yeah, it takes a while to get into it. But...
So what do you think? Why do you think people like whiskey though? What is it that's different?
I think it's just it started as well from like a lot of Japanese whiskey. So that's kind of when the boom came up, and it became an investment opportunity. So we're seeing maybe 5 times returns from maybe 2013. So it started as like, you buy it, you invest in it, but over time, because you're holding it, you get more into it. So
does it get a lot better with age, like compared to red wine? Like, is it one of those?
Oh, no. So it doesn't age once it's in the bottle. Nah, it doesn't get better with once it's bottled, it stays that age. So it's different from wine in that sense. Yeah.
So Michael, do you own an expensive whiskey?
Yeah, I've got some Hibiki and bits and pieces here and there. The good stuff. I've been to the Hakushu in Japan, which is all right, Suntory, and the Yamazaki one. Yeah, I went to both of theirs, and if you compare them to Australian distilleries, they're just wow. It's like a national park. It's so clean, it's pristine. And then you go to Tasmania and go to Nance, like distillery, and there's like giant rat poos, like so big. Like it's too small to be a dog, but it's too big to be rats. But it's like, what is it? It's everywhere. It's disgusting. So yeah,
that's about right.
Whiskey's pretty cool. Love it.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
Alan, do you own any whiskey?
I do not own any whiskey.
Are you planning to?
Well, maybe in the future. I'm not much of a big drinker, so it's not something that's at the front of my mind. But hey, if someone introduces me to a nice whiskey, I'm more than happy to give it a go. Right?
Cool. So I've just got my niece Isabella. I said to her, because she's trying to do some intern with me, and I'm like, come on Zoom, because I actually just want to introduce her to like online softwares and the way we run them. So she'll just sit there. Just watching us, I guess. And I'd like to introduce you to Annie. Annie's my marketing manager. She's also Vietnamese. And
hey guys.
So Isabella's Fijian. So that's a little bit
cool.
Pretty Asian.
Yeah. That's a unique Asian.
And then, yeah, so Annie works with me. We were friends for way before that, like 6-7 years. And then she started working online about a year and something now. And
yeah, it's funny, you know, look, I'm wearing my shirt.
Oh, yeah, you're better than me. I should be. Well, actually, I would have looked a bit weird if I'm wearing, because that just looks like I'm promoting. I'm trying to, you know, hijack AHN and trying to promote my business. Hi, Evelyn.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hey.
So we'll wait for a little bit more people. And I literally have an agenda and structure, right? Because I don't want us to be literally just coming online and like random chat, because otherwise it'll be like, won't be as effective. And look who we've got here. We've got Brian and Maggie all the way from the US. There you go. We're good. We haven't got everyone here yet, but you know, not everyone's on time like us, so just wait. But yeah, since you guys are here now, why don't you guys have a quick chat with them about what's coming up, you know, for AHN, all these amazing things, especially Eric Lee. So too bad for the people that are coming late, they can watch it again, but just start spilling the good parts now.
Recording everything. But
yeah, I'm recording it, yeah.
Yeah, upcoming, we have an AMA session, Ask Me Anything with Patrick Lee.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, AMA session with Patrick Lee, the founders of Rotten Tomatoes, for movie reviews. So if you guys have any questions you guys want to ask them, just post in the form and we'll make sure the question gets asked. We also have one with Eric Lee, the co-founder of LinkedIn, the day after. And then upcoming, we have a couple of people in the pipeline. Maybe Tony Shea, maybe Michelle Fan, the makeup artist before. So whoever you guys wanna talk to and reach, we can definitely make that happen for you guys. So anything you guys are curious about, how do you start your business? What kind of mistakes did you make? What can we learn from you? Are you guys open to partnerships? What are your requirements for criteria to partner up? Just ask those type of questions. Just make sure you guys, you know, fill out that form and we can ask for you. That should be really fun. As we know, like the coronavirus situation is getting really out of hand. The situation has been so bad in the United States that we are on lockdown. So Maggie and I have not left our house in the last 4 days.
Apparently you get a citation and they'll write you up and give you a ticket if they catch you on the street.
Oh my God.
Hey, what part of the where are you guys from? Like what city is it?
We're in the San Francisco Bay Area.
But it's New York.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, you guys are
LA.
Yeah, I'm near LA right now, and like, well, I mean, we're not in complete lockdown, so we're still waiting for.
All the bars and restaurants are closed.
Yeah.
That is
really
so
sad.
cool. And you know what I love? When Brian was talking to Eric Lee, Eric Lee was like, who do you want to meet? And then that's where Brian was like, Tony Shea. And I'm just like, us Asians, we're just so like helpful with one another. We've just got that, I don't know, we're different, right? Like I can already see that.
True.
So that's so exciting. So how long are you guys going to be on the call with us, Brian and Maggie?
We have another call, so we'll probably be on for another 10-15 minutes. So you guys can ask questions that you guys want.
Yeah.
Anything about AHN, anything about how we can help you guys, because we want to listen to Australia. You know, like we love everything about you guys. Like you guys are actually our second largest population outside the United States.
Yeah, you guys are our second biggest country in our AHN demographics. So a big part of the reason why AHN is so successful is because of Australia.
Yeah. and you're saying Sydney has been the biggest help. Yeah.
Sydney, Melbourne.
Sydney, Melbourne. Yeah.
Hey, we should actually have some sort of award thing, you know, like we get awarded the Sydney kind of, I don't know. But overall, guys, since we're a lot of people are here now, just remember, if you haven't filled out that Excel spreadsheet, please do fill out. I know a lot of you have already filled it out, because at the end of the day, this platform is not for me trying to like get all your data. It's really about us networking, and you've got all those access to everyone else, right? And then at the end of the session, I will also encourage you. I'm going to buddy you up with someone that lives near you, and you guys will catch up one-on-one and really build that deeper connection with one another. So
make sure right now you guys don't shake hands.
Pardon?
Just don't shake hands with the coronavirus. Just
yeah. So Yeah, eventually we'll meet face to face, but for now it's Excel spreadsheet right now, right?
Cool.
And yeah, and so for today, I wanted to get started with like introducing each other, and yeah, briefly just go like, why am I doing this, and why do I AHN? And then in terms of introduction to, I changed my idea for it. First, it was going to be some fun thing, but I'm actually curious to hear, how has coronavirus affected you or your business? And what is your solution moving forward as a quick thing? And remember, this introduction isn't meant to be a 10-minute each person. They're more like, here's what's happened with my business and all my life, and here's what I'm planning to do, so that is kind of important right now for us, right? And then after that, we could have actually go through some stories. I mean, I could start with sharing some hard times that's happened in business for myself or someone I know, because it's really about hearing past stories of success and survival, that we were reminded that, oh my God, that was really bad back then, and I remember how bad it was, and yet it's, you know, we succeeded, or things just worked out in the end, right? And I think if we hear these stories right now, that's what's going to make us get that motivation and inspiration. And then and then if we have time. So overall, I want this to be more of like a 1 hour session. It's unfortunately with online, if you go longer than an hour, it becomes like, you know, it's different to physical, because I've been running online, so I know the boundaries around online stuff. You get brain fried afterwards. So then we can go through some people's kind of, so Lynn, I'm sorry to point you out there. In one of her questions was like,
yes,
you know, I want to succeed in my e-commerce store so that I could actually quit my bookkeeping job, right? And that to me is like a kind of hot seat question that a few of us can all help answer and solve her problem, right? And so we'll do that if we have time once again. And then at the end of it, we'll close it up with, like, I have a call to action for you guys. So cool, does that sound good?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Okay. All right. So I'll start with me, Lynn Peretti. And so I run a virtual assistant service company, right? I was from Melbourne and I moved to Sydney about 8 years ago. Now I want to do AHN because I've always wanted to help Asian people. And I've been running networking events in the past, and I know I thrive in it. I'm good at it. But you know, when you're busy running your own business, you just don't have time to give back to society and to the community. And so when this all came up, AHN, and I saw its growth, and actually I saw substance. It was like, you know, you've been in that group, right? You see people are like, not just talking about themselves, but helping one another. So it really motivated me to like, that's it, got to do something about it. So that's why I'm here. But I'm trying to make sure that, you know, I asked Brian and Maggie already to share how they're running the other events in their city and in the, because they've already run multiple events over there. So hopefully I will get to learn from that when and use it when we start to have an actual event. But for now, we are pretty much the first online version of it in a sense, right?
Yeah,
so they might be able to learn from us. So that's where I hear that's where I'm at with the where we're at with the AHN. And in terms of the question for the two questions that I wanted to ask everybody is coronavirus and then the solution. Okay, coronavirus wise for our business, it actually didn't affect us because we're already online. All our virtual assistants are home-based. We had a model or a purpose that we want to create home-based job opportunities for people around the world. And so Annie, for example, is my marketing manager, and she was working in agencies and corporate. And when she went online, she's like, oh my God, my life is so much better now, you know, of that flexibility. So we just weren't affected in that way. However, and also Australia isn't, we're not locked down. So life is quite functional. How dysfunctional it is depends on people. So some people are more scared than others. Some people are locking themselves up or buying extra food that they don't need. But for me personally, I've just taken it on as a very fine, you know, it's just one of those things that passes because our government hasn't really locked us up or anything like that. So in terms of solution for us, we're more of now trying to adapt to what's happening. So we have taken for granted how efficient and effective we do online. It's not just about using Zoom or using Slack or it's how you use these tools and processes. So we're thinking about, putting that, brainstorming that into a training or consulting or something to help other businesses, because we've known now how to do it efficiently. Because if you don't know what you're doing and you could spend hours doing meetings with your team online, it's not efficient for the company. So that's I guess the positive side of it, or the solution that we're looking forward to because of this coronavirus. Cool. All right, I'm gonna throw it to Michael. Your name, what you do, coronavirus, and solution. You're on mute right now.
Am I muted still?
Yeah, no, you're good now.
Awesome. Okay, so my name is Michael. I run a 20-year-old supplements business that my family started. I also do product developments in Brisbane. And I guess with the virus affecting us, we're pivoting more towards B2C because we're really established B2B in Asia and wherever.
I've chose not to.
I really, we're really, sorry, what's your name? Lynn? Yeah, happy for you to hit me up and, see what we're doing. And how we're kind of building, we're basically building from scratch. Even though we have resources, we're building from scratch. So happy to kind of share with you our processes with, really building brands and all that kind of stuff, depending on what your product is. But yeah, today I haven't, we're really pivoting towards e-com. I just signed up for another course. So some people are kind of hesitant to spend money right now. I'm doubling down because I think that, this is going to pass, and I'll be one of the brands that will still be standing around, after this, climate changes. So that's what I think. I mean, if you don't have the funds, that's fine, but you should be using this time to really upskill yourself, because this is an opportunity. You guys are going to be established, and everyone else, your competition, are going to be way behind you. So that's what I'm doing with the coronavirus.
Love that inspiration. And so, Michael, overall, the coronavirus didn't affect you or your business much, yeah?
It did. It did. It took a hit with revenue. I'm not gonna lie.
Yep.
But I'm about, I guess, solutions focus.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Because I spoke to you the other day, and you said you are running out of sanitizer, so there was a lot of demand for that. So I assume that things are still going really well.
Some lines aren't doing so well in our supplements business, but Manuka, which is immunity boosting, that's going nuts. I've had to quadruple my order, per week now, so it just, take the opportunities that come to you, but also look out for the ones that a bit of strategy is required. It's not just about tactics right now. It's all about strategy. So long term. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Michael. Alan, do you want,
All right, cool. Happy to. So guys, nice to meet you. I'm Alan. I'm from Sydney. And I think for most of us here, do we have a lot of Melbanians here, or do we have a lot of Sydney people here?
Just all Sydney mainly, and only one Melbourne.
Only one Melbourne. Oh, okay, cool. Because in the actual group, every time I post who's from Sydney, I get 2 responses. And then everyone's like, who's from Melbourne? There's a whole list. And I'm like, okay, cool. We're by ourselves here. So yeah, nice to meet you guys. So what I do, I have 3 businesses at the moment that are all 100% online. And I've been building 100% online since I was 19 years old. So I'm still quite young, which is good. But I've always thought that online would be the future. So I've been building all my business models and all businesses into the online space. So at the moment, I have an e-commerce business in the anime niche with my brother. So this is me and my brother. We run this one. And so we wanted to start up another sort of events-based business around that kind of later on this year. But with the coronavirus thing, who knows? I also have another business. So I've been doing network marketing, so MLM, for a very long time. I'm very open about that. And I try to teach people to be professionals in it. And so we have a sort of an incubator for that space. So we do a health and wellness MLM. And also the third business that I have a digital marketing agency. So I help influencers scale and actually monetize their audience. And also a lot of lead generation and automation for already existing businesses. So those are my 3 businesses that I operate at the moment. In terms of the coronavirus impact, it's been really interesting to see. On the e-commerce side, we've seen maybe about a 10 to 15% drop in revenue, which is interesting. I didn't expect anime to get hit hard, which is interesting because it is an art-based thing. And so I guess the discretionary spending there is dropping, which is okay. I get that. And so we're pivoting more to the more digital products that we're launching because my brother is the artist behind the brand. In terms of network marketing, it's actually booming because more people are trying to build a secondary income as an emergency fund right now. And so that's really interesting to see. And our products have been selling like hotcakes, which is good. We've got supplements, which is what people are trying to buy right now for their immunity and stuff like that. And in terms of the third business, digital marketing, I've actually closed 2 big clients last week, which these are like sort of A-list celebrities in Australia. And so we're going to be working with these guys moving forward starting next week. So it's pretty exciting in that situation for me and a lot of stuff in that sense. So in terms of solutions, guys, it's just more so focusing and doubling down, like what Michael was saying. You know, we're gonna head into a recession. Who knows if it's gonna hit depression? But I'm gonna be one of the only people around, and that's what I want to do. Is I want to double down, and that at the end of it, but next year or the year after, at the end of it, it's gonna be like, you know what? This is Alan Food. This is what he does, and I want to be like known in the space for what I do. So I'm doubling down for ad spend, whatever it is, or you know, even just for marketing and awareness and getting referrals through the door, and just expanding my network upwards. So I want to get to all the people that actually have money right now, right? So I'm continually building my network upwards, and so that's essentially what I'm doing in terms of solutions for this sort of situation.
Yeah, love it. And if you haven't already connected with Alan, add him on, and you can see all his posts. He means it when he's like doubling down. He's like all over social media right now. Thanks, Alan. Cool.
No worries.
We'll go to Nick. So yeah, even though Nick lives in Melbourne, he has a business in Sydney, so we allowed him in here.
I have to
Oh, Brian, you gotta go. Okay, cool.
Yeah, but we just wanted to say, you know, thank you guys so much for. I'm sorry for cutting you off, Nick.
That's
okay. Nick's face is so familiar as he helped out with the Melbourne event.
Yeah.
But we just wanted to say thank you guys so much for joining us on this virtual event, and thank you, Lynn, for setting this up. I hope that Brian and I will get to, you know, just communicate with each and every one of you guys one-on-one sometime soon.
Just reach out to us.
Yeah, just reach out to us.
We're always on our phones.
They're pretty friendly. I can endorse them. Thank you so much, guys, for making your time with us. And enjoy your home stay still.
Thank you.
All right, thank you guys. Enjoy.
Bye.
See you guys.
Bye, guys.
All right, cool. Back to Nick.
All right. Well, that's Alan, tough act to follow. So basically, I run a whiskey sort of fine spirits agency. So I would work directly with the distributors, and we would drop ship all our products to the end customer, and we cut out a lot of retailers. So our cost price is actually lower than like Dan Murphy's. We can price match. We can beat anyone by 10%. So we've been doing that. We also do B2B. So we sell to a lot of bars and venues, and we offer a lot of consignment deals. So we kind of profit share on the premium price that we get to charge once it's in like a bar or club or restaurant. So it helps the distributor move products that maybe might be slow moving, but it also frees up a lot of cash flow for the bars and hospitality sort of venues. So and we also do a lot of event-based catering. So we, unfortunately, because of the coronavirus, that's kind of taken a bit of a hit. Grand Prix was cancelled, which we were actually the suppliers for 2 of the after parties. So but you know, it's one of those things you just got to pick yourself up and recalibrate and figure out what you can do. So on top of the whiskey kind of stuff, we distribute for Australian brands across Asia. So we get them into Singapore, China, Taiwan, and Malaysia. So that's sort of our key market. Oh, and Indonesia. So those are key markets. And on top of that business, I also I'm a fight promoter. So I promote for the AFC, which is the Australian Fighting Championship. So we've had, I don't know if anyone here is familiar with the UFC, but we've got 3 champions there at the moment. Volkanovski, Adesanya, they all came from our league, and Dan Hooker. So those 3 guys used to fight in the AFC. And what we're actually doing right now is because my client just took over 1% of the league. So we're kind of getting a lot of Asian fighters in because we want to promote the culture. And also, we've signed some big deals. We're on we're on UFC Fight Pass now, so we're part on their streaming platform, and we'll be advertising heavily in China. So again, that event, it was meant to happen on the 26th of April. That was postponed, and a lot of our fighters from China, they got denied entry, so we didn't even bother with that because of the whole Corona issue. So we've taken a bit of a hit, but with that comes a lot of opportunity. I think we are doubling down on online streaming, so pay-per-view, all these things. And in terms of our whiskey, e-commerce sales has kind of stayed around the same. But our events, like our whiskey tastings, have been cancelled, but we're now experimenting with virtual tasting. So we're using this as an opportunity to pivot maybe into a subscription-based model where we could see if it's going to be validated, but we'll see if people buy tickets to our tastings. We send them a box of our sample pack, and we'll add in a bunch of maybe produce from local small businesses to also support the community, cheeses, jams, all these things, put it in. And we'll just get them to join our live stream at a certain time, and we'll have a brand ambassador to just, talk them through what they're tasting, what to pair it with, and we go through it together. So it's going to be like a normal tasting. And hey, if people like it, it validates the idea. We're going to push it into a subscription-based kind of system and see, how it goes.
That is really cool.
I love that.
That's really cool.
And, I think
that was really cool to hear from someone that's affected directly with the event stuff,
Oh yeah.
And thank you so much. And you're still so positive, and I love that. It's like still smiling. Actually, I want to then introduce Annie, because sort of relating to the whole Grand Prix cancellation, and Annie's a bit of on the side she's a travel blogger as well. So I guess it'll be nice to for you to introduce yourself, Annie, and a little bit about your side.
Right, you want me to hop in and introduce myself now, or speak to Nick later?
Oh no, as in introduce now, as now, because his story connects to your story, right? So
okay. Yeah, my Grand Prix story is a bit of a tragedy. So I work with Lynn like full time, basically Monday to Friday. I'm online, we're talking to each other every day. But then sometimes I might have like campaigns or collaborations that are organized through my Instagram page. So I have an Instagram page called Annie's Bucket List, and I do all travel content, which is severely affected by coronavirus, by the way. But I was away last week because I had a collaboration with the Mercedes Group and the Marriott Group to promote the Grand Prix in Melbourne. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, I was meant to be away promoting the Grand Prix. I was meant to meet Lewis Hamilton on the night that we arrived, and he said, no, I don't want to leave my hotel room. So it was a whole debacle, and then we were told it was cancelled, and I was basically like in Melbourne for no reason when I could have been online helping Lynn. So yeah, I feel your pain, Nick, but probably you feel more pain because I didn't have any whiskey invested. But yeah, I met Lynn like years and years ago. We started off working at she didn't work there. I was working at a digital marketing agency, and she basically provided virtual assistants to do a range of things for us. So we had a graphic designer, we had an SEO person, and we managed all sorts of campaigns for all sorts of clients, from like your Bingley to like a random like dog supplies shop. And then Lynn just supplied us with VAs for every single client you can think of, and we've just kept in touch since then, and we've been close friends. And then she told me that I should join this group because I'm a nerd and I like sitting behind my computer and having my head down and do my work, but I don't necessarily like networking like her.
So Annie, what are the kind of you're in the travel, Instagram influencer was such a big thing, and is probably still the big thing. How has it really hit the influencers, and what are do you know any insight into what are they doing about it, or the solution to their challenge?
I guess it depends on what their content is, because there's a lot of people who just do lifestyle and they can take pictures even if they're in lockdown or they can't travel anywhere. So it hasn't really affected them.
That's true.
For me, no one's really interested in me. They're interested in the destinations and the places I go to. And I mainly work with tourism boards and airlines. And when we were in Melbourne for the Grand Prix, the Marriott Group were told that a lot of the marketing staff were going to downgrade from full-time to part-time until further notice. And they're not going to run any travel campaigns for the next 4 months or so. So for me, it's affected it a lot. But I'm a creative person at heart, so I still have content that I create at home, and I do a lot of like cool photography, art stuff. So that's okay. But yeah, I guess it really depends on what your content is.
Yeah, check out her Instagram, guys. She takes her own photos. It's amazing. Yeah, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of followers. Like her photo, her picture is amazing. Thanks, Annie. That was really interesting to hear, because yeah, we all look up to these Instagram influencers, and I guess to hear all these things, it's like, oh my God, poor thing, because they relied on the traveling and being out and about. Thank you. Cool. Karen?
Yeah, perfect. I was actually just about to jump in, because on the Australian Grand Prix, no, Annie, I was actually heading down there as well. So I actually had to cancel about 15 different flights over the last week and a half. So I fell off work for a while. Google for telco, media and gaming companies across Australia and New Zealand. I've been at Google for just under 4 years now. I've moved around from G Suite. I did a bit in the ads team, and also mostly my time has been in GCP, so Google Cloud Platform. So my customers have been severely impacted with everything that's happened, and lots of my own personal travel as well. We had actually a conference planned in San Fran Moscone Center with 40,000 people for the 6th of April. So I had planned to go to San Fran, New York, personal latching flights as well, and that has all been closed. We initially deferred it and transferred it into a virtual conference. And as of yesterday, we actually announced that it was being postponed. So there's just a lot of chaos internally, managing a lot of expectations, but just trying to be as helpful as possible. So I'm quite proud that Google as a whole, we've kind of gone to market with a lot of collaboration tools and made them free for educational not-for-profits, and the likes of Google Meet, so to have up to 250 people joining video conferencing, live streams up to 100,000 people. So on my end, just being as helpful as possible to customers, and then from a sales perspective, postponing any commit contracts, deals, just being really mindful and really understanding of the situation. So that's why business has actually been really, I'd say busy, but not so much, not closing deals, but we're just making sure that we're there for our customers. And
yeah, because you want to keep that customer service reputation high, but yeah, it's not really that. You're probably not losing revenue, but you're just chaotic inside. Yeah,
exactly that. So we've got in the cloud business, we have about 300 people across Australia and New Zealand, so supporting just under 10,000 customers. So there's definitely a lot of heat. I was supposed to be traveling to New Zealand, to the US, and down to Melbourne as well, and just being on the phone with Qantas, I can only feel for their teams as well. 20,000 people. I've got friends in Qantas as well that work there, so it's definitely, I think, us being in more virtual environments, we're very, very fortunate, I think.
Yeah, just curious, so were you working in Google's office normally, and now you're working at home?
Yeah.
And now do you work at home now? Oh, okay.
Yeah, just as of this week, I'm starting this Monday, we've all started working from home.
Oh, okay. And is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because I'm sure a lot of people actually like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Like, I'm someone that likes being around and just likes going over to someone's desk and saying, hey, let's work on this. So everyone's getting a bit of cabin fever after a week where we miss the social interaction, but we do have a lot of, like, I have back-to-back meetings all virtually, but one of the elements is to constantly just sitting down, you forget to walk around, take care of yourself, and it is just, it's just
you'll get used to it. You'll get used to that new life, and then when you go to office, you can't handle that either. But welcome to the new world.
Our counterparts in Hong Kong, South Korea, China have been going through this for the last 50 days, right? So they have heaps of best practices that they're sharing. They're going virtually and sharing their experiences with us. So having that global community has definitely really helped. But yeah, I do have to go to another meeting.
Awesome, right now, thank you, Karen. Yeah, good meeting you too. Yes, we'll be in touch. Thanks. Bye. Cool. Evelyn.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Thanks for having me on this network. I was just saying, I just love the entrepreneurial spirit that's just going out there, the whole flow. I actually became an entrepreneur about 6 years ago. Been in corporate for a very long time in corporate IT, and when I got made redundant, I actually couldn't find a job, so just got in by default. But I always moonlighted, so I used to have a corporate job, and I used to have my own business on the side. So going into that full time. Today I've got three businesses. I'm the same. I've learned not to have all my eggs in one basket. Diversify that income, because I remember when I did get very sick, we ended up losing the family home. So it was a big lesson for us because we didn't have a plan B as such. So having that diversity. So I've got at the moment an e-commerce business in eco-friendly products. I started 2 years ago, right in the time when everyone started eliminating plastic bags. So I got in there really early. Unfortunately though, with this e-commerce business, my stock's running out and I can't get any stock from China. So yeah, coronavirus definitely got affected. I have currently put my business on hold because I can't actually get stock. Demand is there, no stock. So, so that's the thing. I'm currently looking at supporting small Aussie businesses. However, that's going to change the price. So again, I need to just change that. I need to change the strategy basically, and just see how I can go through that long term. The other business I have is I've got a digital agency, and we recently merged with a creative production agency. Just to joining forces, collaboration is a lot easier for me. We're currently doing a lot of advertising. Again, we are also affected. We had jobs that are being cancelled. However, we had a meeting this week and said, look, with the whole coronavirus, obviously there are a lot of businesses out there that are not currently online. They don't even know how to go online. Yeah. And I just feel personally there's a permanent shift happening right now in the last couple of weeks where companies are really forced. There's no choice. It's forced to go online. It's not like, oh, well, I'm not online, but I've still got my traditional retail business. But no, everyone has to go online now. This is this force. And so there are companies out there that really need to change, and they don't know how to go online. Like I think for a lot of us, we've done this online business for a long time. We know how to navigate online. We know how to do Zoom calls very effectively. We know how to communicate. We know how to do business with China online and all that stuff. There's a lot of businesses that don't even know how to navigate online. So there's a huge learning curve especially for the corporates. So the creative, what we do at the moment is we're building a studio at the moment because we're creating a TV show that's powered by the people. And what we wanted to do is we want to collect all the questions from people all around Australia. And then we're trying to get CEOs in the seat to answer those questions. CEOs, people that are thought leaders. So we're building out this concept, and I don't know whether it's going to go off the ground, but I said to the guys, we've got to do something, and so we've got a couple of people that are part of Sydney TEDx. They came on board with us to brainstorm, and, we've got this really amazing team together where let's see what happens. And the other thing is, again, we're helping businesses to go online. We have a massive video production team. We can do all these things. So yeah, we're currently finishing off a Netflix movie with a UFC fighter. She's a female from Australia and has a huge domestic violence story. But this Netflix movie it's filmed all in 6 countries around the world. So we went to Mexico, we went to Ireland and, America, Los Angeles, where she was fighting. She is quite well known, but not here, unfortunately, overseas. But so that's in the pipeline. I think being creative is something we need to do. And I think what we need to do also is just to continually, just to look at the whole situation as an opportunity rather than
that is awesome.
Being affected, right? So, yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much, Evelyn. And I remember we caught up ages and ages ago, and I do remember that time when you were still going from corporate to business, and then now look at where you're at now. You're like keeping busy and doing a lot of fun stuff and value adding to the society. Just a quick one. So, Alan, if you want to know where Evelyn lives and whatever, that Excel spreadsheet that I've got everyone to fill out, there's actually everyone's locations there.
Got it.
So,
I'm stalking everyone right now.
I'm going like, Alan, you live in Bexley. That's like 5 minutes from me. 10 minutes. I live in Cogra. I mean, sorry, not Cogra. I live in Blakehurst.
You live in Blakehurst, yeah, you're down the road. My mate lives in Blakehurst too.
Yeah, and then Jackie, I'm like, you live in Cogra. That's 5 minutes from me. You know?
Yeah, Cogra is literally down the road. It's like, I'm looking at it.
I have to change. I'm actually from Castle Hill, but I wrote down Ultimo because that's where my office is.
I head up to Castle Hill all the time as well, Evelyn, for my network marketing business.
That
office is there.
Excellent. Yeah, we do Ultimo/Castle Hill, so we know like, okay, but that is really, really good. Thank you so much, Evelyn. And I'm going to pick your brain later on about the whole movie thing, because I forgot to tell you guys, but I'm an aspiring actor. I'm learning acting right now, and I want to be an actress. So
I can get you an agent if you want, Lynn. Do you want an agent? I can hook you up.
I want a good agent. I have an agent. Yeah. I don't know if they're good. So, okay, Alan, I need to.
I'll hook you up. Don't worry, I got you.
Our next feature movie is with Tim-O-Matic. You know Tim-O-Matic?
Tim-O-Matic. Oh
yeah. I know Tim-O-Matic.
Yeah. So we're currently drafting up the next feature movie with him.
Very cool. God, I need to talk to you, Evelyn. All right, well, I'll talk to you after this. This is so amazing. See, through networking, we get to know stuff, from people.
Amazing.
Oh, I'll talk to Jackie then. Since Jackie is the cog girl, she can come next. Yeah.
All right, guys. Hi, how you doing? Jackie here. Yes, we should actually meet up in real life once this whole thing blows over. But yeah, so my thing is really focused on primarily Malaysian and Singaporean street food. I started out I've always been self-employed pretty much. I mean, even when I was an IT contractor, I was contracting as opposed to working full time. But about 20 years or so ago, I decided, because my parents used to sell street food in Malaysia, so I decided to take the plunge and go into doing Malaysian street food, introducing Malaysian street food around Sydney and pretty much, around Sydney at events and pop-ups and all that sort of stuff. Eventually I had a restaurant, and then my life kind of like took a turn because I became a single mom to a special needs kid. So I gave up the restaurant thing, but at the same time, other things were happening as well, because actually, literally while I was still in hospital with my baby, like the day after I delivered, I actually got a call from Google Australia themselves. This is going back 8 years ago now. And Google said, hey, listen, we notice you're quite active on social media, and we notice you do cooking, and we've got this snazzy new tool called Google Hangouts on Air, which we thought you might be interested in using to live stream your cooking. So I actually was one of the early adopters of live video streaming to do cooking. And because of my collaboration with Google, they started promoting my profile quite aggressively on what was then Google Plus, which no longer exists in its previous iteration. But as a result of Google Plus, I ended up building up an online following of nearly 2 million. So I had like a wide social media presence. And it's interesting to see how everyone we could really talk a lot more about collaborating and all that. Because I was basically pre-Instagram, right? So Instagram is a little bit after my time, but back in 7-8 years ago, I was considered an influencer in the space of food. I was apparently the second most influential Australian chef on social media. Number one was Adam Liao. And I started getting invited on television. So I've done a fair bit of television in Australia, in Malaysia, and in Singapore. And I was actually invited to shoot elsewhere as well. So I have a lot of that sort of advice I want to actually transfer to the next generation of primarily food entrepreneurs, because they don't really know how to leverage what they do. So when I had my restaurant, even while I was pondering what to do with my child coming and all that sort of stuff, I knew that was not feasible in terms of scalability, in terms of longevity, essentially. So I was already working in the background to build an online presence. So for the last few years, essentially my online presence, until Google Plus was retired a couple of years ago, I was really focused on building reach and influence. So I was getting a lot of free stuff. I was getting free travel and collaborations with tourism organizations and agencies and hotels and all that. So I do still get invited every now and then for that. But what I found at that point, again, like I said, I feel like a dinosaur talking to some of you because I was pre-Instagram. Now that Instagram's come along, I'm kind of like, I'm just really bored and tired, and I'm very cynical now. But I noticed, like, with all these freebies that you were getting, and like, I'm a Lenovo ambassador, so I've got, like, I'm just surrounded by computers here.
Give us one, please.
I know, I actually, you know, I've been giving away so many over the years, but none of them actually pay your bills directly, you know what I mean? So, I mean, now and then when I get invited on television, the money I get paid it varies from free appearances, like on Everyday Gourmet. They don't pay you, they'll fly you out to Melbourne and film a bunch of episodes, but they don't pay you because they see that you get the reciprocal exposure, right? And then others will actually pay you outright, and then more often than not, you get a cut of whatever sponsorship dollar goes into the production. So it's just kind of interesting, but ultimately I've decided just more recently to actually, instead of focusing on building reach and influence and all that, I'm focusing on actually direct monetization of my following, right? So it's a little bit tricky because of my bricks and mortar background. A lot of people who follow me do so for various reasons. They either follow me because they used to eat my food and they really like my food and they just want to buy food from me. And then other people follow me because it's seen me on television or on YouTube and all that. And then of all these, only a very small subset actually want to learn to cook. But these are the ones I'm wanting to focus on because that's the way I can actually, you know, build a feasible online income from what I see anyway. So essentially what I'm doing now, I've got two things. So I still self-lit to a small degree, and when you ask whether I've been affected, yes, I have, because I still was doing a weekly pop-up selling food at Concord Hospital, and that's been closed down indefinitely. But that's okay. Like I said, I'm actually just on the cusp of launching this online program. It's a monthly subscription thing for people who want to learn to cook Malaysian street food specifically, right? Because that's my specialty. I'm a second generation hawker, essentially. So I've put out beta release. I've got about 30 people sign up for lifetime access, but my next release is going to be monthly subscription for everyone else. So we're going to start pushing that out in the next few days. And also, insofar as like I said, I have a lot of head knowledge in terms and experience in terms of working with exposure, with defining your niche and getting your word out there. I have a knack, because I write a lot and I blog everywhere and all that. I have a knack of getting media attention, and not necessarily to do with food. You know, it may be causes to do with like parenting. Maybe I actually was invited on the Dr. Phil show twice in the last 2 years because of this particular thing that I was basically quite vocal about, sort of thing. So I have a way of being able to get media attention that I want to be able to translate it for people who would find value in that sort of information. So to that end, yeah, I've built a small 1,200 member community of current and would-be food business owners, and the idea is to nurture them in the back end while I'm focusing on this digital course subscription platform, to nurture these people ultimately to the point where they would be willing to secure me to help them to, you know, to essentially leverage their food knowledge in a, you know, in something that will work long term and more effective.
Thank you. That was so in depth, really. I've learned so much about food in that time than any other time in my life. And I think it will be good for even in that Excel spreadsheet. If you have any ideas, maybe you pop in the comment. I don't know. Anyway, I think you've got so many ideas, and I guess the others could actually maybe not give you more ideas, but deep dive in one of your ideas and help you with it. But for me personally, I would love that whole media stuff, because and that would be a more general and will fit more people, niching in that, how to get in the media thing. But but I'm sure that'd be cool. Also, Jackie, we'll catch up because you're so close to me too. So thanks. Anthony?
Hey guys, I'm love and the spirit in here. So for me, basically, I have two hats. And the funny thing I'm observing is just the multiple hats that everyone's wearing and the things that you all do. So my role, my job would be working as a learning and community lead for an online education company. It's called V Ninjas. It actually started off as an online bookkeeping company, and that's a core business. So on one hand, one part of my role is to help find potential clients who need online bookkeeping that use Xero. But my business unit that I'm actually in charge of growing is actually focused on online education. It's actually, we've launched a couple of Xero bookkeeping courses to help entrepreneurs use Xero. And that's kind of where all my focus is. Now, have we been affected by Corona? Yes, because one of my strategies for launching that particular business unit was to actually do workshops and live events. And so I was meant to be in the US in a couple of months. I don't think that's happening. And so now it's looking at, okay, how do I do this on a virtual basis? And that's not a bad thing, because the last 10 years I've been building online communities anyway. So that's a real opportunity to leverage that skill set. Now, the second thing that I'm working on is actually an initiative with my wife. Last year, I took 2 weeks off my day job to actually launch a project called Remote Business Summit. And I brought together 25 experts in the world of virtual businesses to talk about how do you build scale, how do you build remote cultures and remote teams and these sort of things. It was a really good way for us to share and connect with different people, and had a lot of interest in, at the time pre-corona, around people already wanting to know how do I do that? How do I do flexible working? How do I hire people, in other countries? How do I, work with someone like Lynn to get remote, get VAs, like these sort of things. And so what we've decided as a sort of a side hustle, but to do is actually launch a magazine, an online magazine, which we will put out every couple of weeks, providing resources to people who want to learn those skills, right? So I can see some potential collaborations with people on this call already, just around that. So, and that's going to be, we're going to monetize that through an affiliate model. So we will sell people's products to that audience, and that's how we basically generate our additional income stream.
Yeah, Well, Anthony, you got to talk to Annie, because we have an affiliate program that I think will collab together since there. Yeah. So I think that would be really cool.
Totally.
Awesome. And we're meant to talk and do podcasts for a while, but we haven't had the chance to, but now we will.
Yes, we will.
Connected now,
Yeah.
Cool. I'll go to Lorenzo. And Lorenzo, you're not from Sydney, are you? Hang on, you're on mute. I'll unmute you, because it's getting dark there. Is he? Hang on, you're on mute. I try to unmute you, but I can't.
Yeah, he's muted.
Oh, there you go. Sorry about that. Hi, guys.
Yeah.
My name is Lorenzo. Sorry, I'm gonna. You can get to another speaker first. I'm gonna switch to my phone. Sorry about my laptop. Is literally.
Cool.
Give me 1 second.
I'll go to Lynn.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey. Okay, cool. All right. You guys are amazing. I mean, I feel so grateful to be a part of this call. Thanks, Lynn, for inviting me to the group, and then you're amazing. So I guess I heard a lot of people talking about the businesses, and you guys are so inspiring. I'm at a very early stage of my entrepreneurial journey. I would say so. I wouldn't say I have a business. I mean, so I came to Australia, to Melbourne, to study 7 years ago from Vietnam. And after graduate, I moved to Sydney. So I've been here for 5 years now. So I worked as accounting in accounting for an accounting firm for a couple of years, and I found out the job is just so boring and just doesn't really fulfill me. So I still think so. Last year I decided I was thinking about what I wanted to do. I don't have many passions, but I knew that I love dogs and I want to work closely with dogs. So, and I always love dressing up my dogs. So that's why I have kind of a side hustle selling dog accessory, or design handmade dog collars. So yes, I make few sales here and there, but I wouldn't say I have a business as such. So people, I mean, like, there's so much to learn, and I want to pick pick you guys' brains on an e-commerce space. Yeah, I mean,
how has coronavirus affected your the accounting company that you work for?
So everyone's working from home now. I wouldn't say it affected because still business as usual, which is working behind the computer as always. Anyway,
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
It have much effect.
Are they already equipped with the process of working online? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
It has been rolled out. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, what are your I guess what are your focus now? Like now, I know you want to. So how does your time split with like working for someone and wanting to grow your business? Like, what is your solution in that sense?
Okay, so most of my free time, I actually bring my laptop to the library, which is now is home because I can't really go anywhere. So to work on study more about e-commerce space, digital marketing, online influential marketing. But I feel a bit overwhelmed because there's so much out there. I don't know which one to follow, even though I take up a lot of. That'd be great if Michael, if you could, if I could just hit you up and probably ask you a few questions I have, that'd be much appreciated. I also have other business idea, which is I think close to Michael's areas of expertise. So that'd be great.
Awesome. So yeah, I met Lynn at the Tom Billu's event. So we were both lining up taking a photo with Tom Billu. He was such an amazing speaker. Was anyone else there seeing him at his speaking thing? Okay, cool. So yeah, that's why I met her, and she just reminded me of me 10 years ago or whatever it was. So I was like, oh, come along for a ride with whatever I'm doing.
Yeah. Hopefully, like I don't know, next year or in next few years when we have this call again, I will be able to speak more about my business and how it's grow. But for now, there's so much.
You will succeed, right? Everyone who's been there all just started from nothing. But I guess the biggest thing that made me stood out was I had certainty that I was going to succeed. And I wasn't, I guess for you as a mentor to give you advice is just be more confident and go, rather than talk, I guess, modest about your, like, oh, I don't really have a business or whatever.
I don't see myself as being a shy person, but I feel like I'm a camera shy. I'm just having like such a hard time speaking to the world. My heart is racing.
But I'm proud that you're here because I was a shy Vietnamese girl as well. But I just got myself on camera and whatever, and then that's how. But yeah, well done. It's just turning up. But yeah, start positive talking about yourself.
Yes.
So I'm amazing. Cool. And you are an entrepreneur. You started a business. Do you think that other people succeeded? No, we all fail. We all have failed, but we all started a business. So you are an entrepreneur. You started a business, and you're going to make it work, right? If it doesn't work, you're going to try other things. But you are a business owner. Cool.
Cool.
All right, Lorenzo.
Now I'm ready. Nice to meet you guys. Hello. So my name is Lorenzo. I barely started. To be honest, I started my business 2 years ago, but we've had like our little struggles. I work with coffee. We're called Vibrantry. We're really new. Started planning 2 years ago, created a proposal plan to basically work with different types of roasters all over. I'm from California. Sorry, by the way, guys.
Yeah. Oh, good.
So I know you guys are all located in Australia, so I feel like out of place sometimes. I'm just like, oh man, I have nothing to relate when it comes to us, except Vegemite is the only thing I know when it comes to.
And it's so yucky. I don't even like that thing, but yeah.
Really? Okay. Yeah. No, I love to eat. So anything for me. So like we did our Vibrantry. I started coffee. I have a business partner named Julian, so I'm lucky for him. We barely started getting off ground last September, and I have like two hats. One, I'm a digital designer for a few businesses in LA, but right now it's a struggle too as well because I created basically I do brand strategy for them, working on their social media and their website because I coded. I learned how to do web development in school as well. I went to UC Santa Barbara. So for me, it's like, I don't know, there's been the struggles, especially with this whole like coronavirus things. But right now I'm working on two things, which is basically drop shipping coffee, working with specialty coffee with different roasters all over California, who gets it from different parts of the world, from Indonesia to in South America and in Central Africa. So I'm lucky for that part. But yeah, I guess for me, I guess the struggle is like, I think with coronavirus, I think everyone's been feeling it. I felt it hard too, I'm not gonna lie. Here in Los Angeles, a lot of us have been struggling in terms of I think with clients. I've been struggling with clients. I think I've worked with some clients on some of their businesses. I've worked with some people in the fashion industry. So I'm all over the place, as you can tell by now, in terms of like, I used like literally my specialty skills to build myself a digital design business to help other small businesses all over in downtown LA. So that's been, I think, yeah. So here it's been a struggle right now because obviously I think, I'm not sure, but like we just received the news. We got like an official lockdown. Like California is in total lockdown right now.
So it wasn't before. San Francisco's already started, but you haven't started yet.
Yeah, actually, true story. While we were talking, 6:36, the governor just declared a law. Yeah, he just declared a law that it's not martial law. Yeah, basically declared the state, like, yeah, governance stuff. Like,
that sucks. And is there a time frame, or is it just like lockdown and will be noticed, or is it 2 weeks lockdown or something?
Unfortunately, right now he hasn't given a time date yet. Most likely, I think California is giving like a 2 week. Like, I think we're all aiming for 2 weeks, you know, for recovery. But I think it's because they found out like some people within the entertainment and sports industry have gained it. So I think the news, if you guys heard about the LA Lakers received 2, I think the governor was just, he's had enough, and he was like, no, okay, that's it. People are getting sick, and I think we just got a recent news this morning that's one died in the hospital in LA. Yeah, corona. So then
that's not good.
So I think it's just
Do you know how old that person was, or that died, or was it?
I didn't check. They said they were much in their like 60, in their 60s. So it makes sense. Okay, so obviously I'm all over the place. A little nervous because you guys have better backgrounds than me. I feel like
you're in the dark, but it really shows that you were committed to this, you know, through all that trouble, and it's late at night and you're still here with us, so thank you.
Well, to be honest with you, is like I've always been an entrepreneur at heart. I've ran entrepreneur organizations within my college in UC Santa Barbara, and so for me it's like being able to, I've always been a creative guy. Like I learned technical skills in terms of UX UI design to you know, coding websites, learning JavaScript and Java. So for me, like I had to like put like techniques to kind of like work with businesses and whatnot. And I think in terms in line was I think Jackie's talk was really inspiring because like for me, like I think after all this, like going back to like coffee and making specialty coffee, like I've been a barista. Sorry, like I know I don't want to like expand my talk, but I've been a barista for 6 years now. So I've wanted to work with my expertise when it comes to coffee. So for me, it's like I wanted to provide some sort of value. And low key, I'm not gonna lie, I'm like you too, Lynn. Like I'm an aspiring actor in LA. Like, yeah, I know. Because so I part time I work as a videographer for CBS production studios here in Los Angeles. But you know, I've always loved not necessarily the limelight. Like I don't want to be the tractor show, but I sing, I dance and all that. Then I work with cameras and I edit videos for news stations. So for me, it's like, oh, okay, why not? Like I think
creative
it would be
outlet.
super fun.
Yeah.
And especially now, I think, you know, we have representations. What I love about the Asian community is we get to represent, you know, Asians and the voice and what we can provide.
Yeah.
So I think that was super cool.
Do you like singing and dancing? Because are you Filipino?
I'm half Filipino, actually.
Yeah, because
I'm half Filipino.
all Filipinos love to sing and dance, and they're good at it.
That's so true. Yeah, no, I'm half Filipino. I half Filipino, half Spanish. I think everyone in the Philippines is like kind of like a heavy mixture already. So I'm just like, well, no, I'm just Filipino at heart. But yeah, no, I basically play, you know, like the typical guitar, piano, sing. But true story, I was raised in Mississippi, so I learned to sing gospel songs. So it's not like it like how Filipinos obviously sing R&B. I'd sing R&B, but more in a very like John Legend type of way when it comes to singing. It's like very gospel, like it's so funny. So
cool.
Yeah, it's really
Thank
funny.
you so much. Well, yeah, I'm glad you're here anyway, even though you hijacked the Sydney crew. No, but since it's a virtual meeting anyway, it really doesn't matter where people are from. But anyway, yeah, glad you're here. I'll go to Sharon. Sharon, do you have your video on? Or?
Yeah.
Cool. And you know, Sharon, I recognize you because I actually just ordered the Roden and Field skincare so I messaged my cousin and said, I need this product from the MLM company, Roden and Fields. And then she said, I'll order it for you from Sharon. And then I checked up Sharon's name on Facebook and added her. And so now I see you, it's like, yeah, now it's just a loop.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Cool.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, so we just, yeah, all good. So basically we're just up to the introduction part. We had a plan to do like all these many things in the agenda, but we literally just got at the introduction. The introduction is just your name, what do you do, and how have you been affected by the coronavirus, and what are your outlook or positive outlook or solution?
Yeah. Okay, cool. Sorry, I'm working from home obviously, so I'm just in like daggy, everything. So I have a mortgage broking business, and I've been doing mortgages for about 8 years now. And it's, you know, myself, one man or one woman band, and I've been doing out on my own for 2 years now, so a bit scary. It's been like, I mean, obviously if you're Australian, you know what's been happening in Australia, properties, you know, been a bit of a roller coaster. And just when I thought, okay, finally we're over it, COVID's hit. So I've got clients. I sent out a really quick email yesterday to all my clients saying, you know, if you have any concerns about making mortgage repayments or anything like that, please contact me. We'll talk to the bank, see what they can do. And actually, in fact, NAB and Westpac have announced that they're happy to support clients who are in financial hardship. So that means that they'll freeze your mortgage payments, which is fantastic news, because I've got emails from clients who work in the travel industry, Qantas, emailing me going, you know, we're not going to either have our jobs or I'm on reduced hours now. So yeah, it's really interesting times, and I'm just trying to be there to support all my clients. Having said that, I've got lots of people who are looking at refinancing. I mean, CBA just announced fixed rates of 2.29 for owner occupiers, which is ridiculously low. Like, we've never seen anything like this before. Yep, Michael, you know what I'm talking about. So it's either, I guess it depends on your risk appetite, you know. So there's clients who are going to freak out. I've had quite a number of clients who were buying property and they've pulled out now. They've said, yep, I had the perfect place, but I'm not going ahead because I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, and then others who are saying, you know what, this is a really great opportunity. Everything's going to be sold lower. So yeah, just really interesting times, and I'm hoping that through all of this, I just need to, you know, minimize all my expenses, because I do this full time. I'm a single mum, I've got 2 kids, and so yeah, just looking to kind of ride it out. Hopefully it doesn't last as long as they're predicting, and see what we can do. But I do have to, unfortunately, love you guys and leave you, because
I'm on a full PD day today. So, but it worked in perfectly because it was like lunchtime. So I was able to.
Thank you. I actually had more questions to ask you, but I can always ask you separately. I was curious to know about all these business loans and things that are happening, and there's all these things. But yeah, thank you so much for being here with us, Sharon.
Yeah, absolutely. And Lynn, if it's possible, maybe that we could like create a Australian or a separate Sydney group as well, so we could talk about things that are a bit more relevant.
Yeah, sure. We'll update you on if we can come up with anything. Yeah, after today's thing. Yeah, cool.
Fantastic. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Nice. Thanks, Sharon. Cool. So, guys, it's already like 1 hour, right? And yeah, I just realized from this first experience, it could just go really long easily, even when you're just up to meeting people. But of course, I'm planning to. So, how often would you like to have this networking event?
I reckon once a month would be pretty cool to catch up, see how everyone's going, you know, collaborate, all of that sort of stuff, because that's what it should be about. Especially right now, I think everyone's freaking out. If we can collaborate and help each other wherever we can, I think that's it. Like, because people are freaking out. Like,
Cool. So we'll do once a month, and so what I have to do is I just have to be more adaptive with, especially the next session, there'll be people that are here and there are new people, right? So then what I might do is I'll be getting the new people to introduce themselves, and then, you know, then we get to know the new people too. And then depending on, let's say there's less or more, there's just more things we'll have to do, we can do. So you can leave all that hosting to me, but I want to make sure that every time we meet, it's still fun and exciting, right? Because you don't want it to be this stagnant, like repeat the same thing all the time. So what I want to do next is, I know you guys are all like, oh, cool, let's catch up. Oh, I like you, But sometimes life gets in the way and we're like, we don't do it, right? So I'm going to be kind of like the teacher that goes, okay, I'm going to buddy you up with this person and that person. Let's say I go Jackie and Alan, you live in the thing, you're the buddy. What it more means is that for this month, my challenge for you is to actually catch up. And come on, if we catch up one-on-one, it's okay. I don't think, like, as long as you keep your distance and whatever, I really think that we should make an effort to go and actually see that person.
That's right, let's do this.
Social distancing.
So I'll send you, I'll update the sheet after this, and I'll just put your names next to it. And of course, Lorenzo, you're not really here, but you know, that means you virtually meet someone else.
Facebook
and of course, it's not that you can't meet the others. It's just more like I'm assigning you one task, which is go and catch up with that person and get to know them well. And then if you want to catch up with other people, up to you. You know, no one's stopping anybody. So that's the buddy system thing. And what I was going to say, and then as the second homework is obviously the Asian Hustle Network's goal is we want to just reach as many Asian people as possible to help and inspire, right? And so what we can do our part in inviting 10 Asian people we know after this call, just spend the next 5-10 minutes, and because literally whenever I'm on Asian Hustle Network for a bit, and then I get excited because I'm like, oh my God, my friends or people I know need to be on this. So I add a bunch, and then I don't again, right? But I'm sure there's still heaps in my network that are Asian that needs to be there. So let's just do this thing where there's 9 of us right now. 9 times 10 is like, that's 90 people that we're going to reach out and go into. And see, Lynn was an example of someone that I just invited in. Evelyn, maybe I invited you too. I'm not sure. I did, see? And then you're glad you're here, right? And so let's do that as our homework, as do it straight away after this, so then we've got it done because we're all busy. Cool. And is everyone kind of happy with this time for now? It seems to work. Yeah. Cool. And limiting to about an hour-ish like this is good enough, yeah? Mm-hmm. Cool.
Perfect.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Thanks for a great catch-up.
See you guys.
And I'll check the Excel. Okay. Bye.
Yes. Update the Excel, guys.
Yeah.
We'll do.
Of course. Yeah. Let's do it. Thanks, guys.
See you guys.
Yeah.
Ciao.